life. There you go. So we are in the middle of our series, Bountiful Living. And for those of you who may be new or newer to Ahava, every October we focus on prosperity. And we call it Rocktober because we are rocking our lives in all areas of our finances and our relationships and health and all things that we call under this umbrella of prosperity. So we kicked off this exploration this month by really getting clear and defining what we mean by prosperity, to this more holistic understanding of walking in the world with a hopeful expectancy and living with an abundance mindset. And so we're not just talking about money, but we're also not talking about money. Money is a part of the equation, but not the whole answer. Eric Butterworth says prosperity is a way of living and thinking, and not just money or things. So as we talk about bountiful living, we get to embrace this idea of prosperity in all areas of our life. Our finances and money, as well as our health and vitality, loving and secure relationships, creative self-expression and career, and a deep and connected, meaningful relationship with ourselves and the divine spirit universe, the God of our own understanding. And today's topic is gratitude, the great multiplier. So I know that sometimes gratitude can be seen, or maybe it's just me, but kind of trite, it's like, okay, yeah, remember to be grateful, say thank you. And what we're talking about is a deeper understanding. It's a profound way of being that can unlock the key to prosperity and abundance in all facets of our lives. And also, sometimes I notice I can hear myself or others sometimes coming from a place of like shame around this, right? Like, oh, I should be more grateful. Or we're comparing ourselves to others and sometimes like, well, at least I should be grateful that I'm not in that situation, or at least I have this, right? Or we should be grateful because someone gave you something. You should be grateful. Anytime this should word comes up, right? Ooh, we're just shoulding all over ourselves. And no one wants to clean that up. So we're going to be, I don't know, y'all, the things that come out of my mouth. So the vibration of gratitude that I'm talking about is that pure energy, nothing to do with shame or nothing to do with comparison, but like the sacred practice of actually honoring. And it's like this pure vibration of gratitude. It's akin to joy and love. And it just exudes out of our being. Not as a reaction to the good in our lives, but as a proactive way of being. Because gratitude is the very attitude that prepares us to receive the good in our lives. Gratitude is the very attitude that prepares us to receive the good in our life. Gratitude is not the effect, it's the cause. Right? We got to flip the script on that one. Gratitude is not the effect, it's the cause. So, those of us living in this colonized Western world, we could learn something by looking to the indigenous cultures and the First Nations peoples with this practice of reciprocity, giving back to the land, and ensuring the sacred balance and the connection between Mother Earth and ourselves. Not taking resources for granted or as a means for profit, but taking care of the land so it can take care of us. A deep appreciation of our resources and switching to this mindset of harmony and sustainability, harmony with nature and the flow of all of life. And this naturally leads us then to be good stewards of our resources. such that we can have access to the abundant resources of the land. Whereas in contrast, the mindset of hoarding, taking, greed that come at the expense of others, this may lead to a temporary experience of prosperity, but it comes at a great cost, and it will eventually collapse. It's not sustainable. And who knows what's coming next? But I know we are on the verge in our world right now, in the collective consciousness, we are on the verge of this shift, of seeing how this particular way of being no longer serves the collective. It doesn't work, right? And so we are called individually to shift into this abundant mindset, to be a good steward of our resources and lovingly care for Mother Earth, for each other, and practice reciprocity, giving and receiving in the flow. So what attitude are you approaching life? Because this attitude then determines the outcome. Are you choosing to focus your awareness on what is good? Because, as the saying says, what you appreciate appreciates, right? Are you taking a moment to honor and appreciate this precious life that we all have, to honor the bounty and the givingness of Mother Earth for sharing her resources with us? Or are there things perhaps that you're taking for granted that now is the opportunity to make a conscious shift in order to turn to honoring and appreciating life? Instead of focusing on what's not working or what we don't have, how can we look at the good that is around and what is working? And I want to, there's a nuance here. I'm not saying that we're in denial. We don't notice the negative effects of the world. We notice, like if you're walking down the street and you see a piece of litter, you don't just say, focus on the flower. You still pause and you pick up the piece of litter, but you don't go, oh, the litter, the trash, all that there is this trash around the world. I can't believe we have so much, right? It's like, where's your attention? You notice it, you pick it up, you keep your vibration at that which you desire, but you do something about it. You throw it away, and then you focus on the beauty of the flowers because you can see them now. There's not trash on top of them, right? So this metaphor, right? Same thing. So when I'm saying, notice the good, it's also that we're not in denial of other things, but we keep our energy and our attention, our vibration to the beauty and the abundance and the bounty all around us, and keep it moving. Imagine gratitude is like this lens through which we view the world. And when we shift our attention to the things that we are grateful for, even in the midst of challenging times, something shifts in the invisible. There's a shift that happens within us where we actually become more resilient, where we become more adaptable and patient and hopeful. And remember what I said a few weeks ago about this word hope. It's not like, oh, I hope I get it from a place of lack. Hope from this idea of expecting the good, right? Of looking towards that which we desire. So as we shift into this mindset of gratitude, welcome. We're, loving the energy is growing as I speak, We're filling the room and adding our energy to this field. So as we open to allow the good and abundance of life to be revealed through us, to us, we can have eyes to see it. And in this process, become more resilient and adaptable. Norman Vincent Peale aptly noted that prayer doesn't change things for us, it changes us for things. That's the real work, right? We're not here to get or change things out there. We are actually here to experience that transformation from within.
Can you say that again?
Yes. Prayer doesn't change things for us. It changes us for things. So a prayer of gratitude works in much the same way. It's not like a magic wand that grants all of our wishes, but it allows us to transform our experience, to raise our vibration, to be in alignment with that, which makes us more open and aware and receptive to the good that is always there. It's like I've shared this before. I often imagine like a waterfall. So the beautiful bounty of the universe is always flowing through, free, like a waterfall. And as I was saying this, I'm noticing, if you listen, you can hear a fountain in the other room, right? So it's like that bounty, that flow that's happening. And how open and receptive are we to receive it? Do we stand underneath it with the open arms? Or are we like, oh, may I have some more, sir? And just like have a tiny little cup. How open are you to receive? And here's the real special sauce. Feeling grateful for things before they actually manifest in our lives. This is where the alchemy happens. And it can be challenging to feel grateful for something when we're in the midst of the suffering or the pain or the experience of the seeming lack. But that alchemy within to shift, to know the wholeness and the abundance and the truth of the universe and therefore ourselves must occur so that we can be that resonant match for the good that is all around. And it allows us to open our hearts and our mind to be grateful for all that we desire even before it arrives in our experience. And that is a key to unlocking prosperity in all areas of our lives. Getting into the feeling tone for that which you desire. And for some of us, we may need to deconstruct this idea of some God in the sky that is waiting for us to say, thank you, God, and then will reward us in some way by sending us blessings. But what we teach here and know by, looking at universal laws is that spirit, life, God, universe, whatever word works for you, does not play favorites. It just is. There's this law that either we are open to, we are in the flow with, we are in congruent with, we are allowing, but it's not like some God in the sky saying, I will bless you and I will bless you. You're good. Yeah, maybe, right? This is like Santa Claus, So we have to let go of the Santa Claus God that is giving to us if we are good enough or worthy enough, or that we have to let go of this idea that we have to or we should be grateful for things, and instead realize that abundance is the natural state of the universe. And then remain in right relationship with that by being good stewards of our land and our resources and appreciating all that it offers, not taking more than we need, but knowing that there's always enough and there's enough for all. We have the power within our own hearts and minds to be the architect of our life experiences. And when we consciously focus on all that we have and express gratitude and appreciation for it, that creative power, that law that always says yes, manifests and demonstrates through us to that which we are putting our focused attention towards. This focal point of creative power is wherever our attention lies, moment to moment to moment. And we're always at choice. We can always choose again to notice, to catch ourselves. We're in that, it's very seductive to look at the lack and the limitation, to hear the stories on the news and to believe that that is true. Now, it is real in an experience that we are all having as a collective, but it is an outpicturing of something. It's not the ultimate reality. So this is where we get to take our power back by knowing that gratitude is the cause, not the effect. And so when we raise our vibration to that of appreciation and abundance and witnessing and knowing the wholeness despite the condition will then shift. But it's easy, right? Our minds, our humanness wants to get caught up in the stories. And that's why we gather together to remember, to be reminded of the truth of who we are, to be in a resonant vibration and energy of a place that says, look to the good. And that is why it's key not only to be grateful for our good and our personal achievements, but also to notice and appreciate the prosperity of others. Because truly we are one. And if we have the tendency to be envious or judging of someone who has something that we desire, and again, envy is different than jealousy. Envy is like, I want what you have and I don't want you to have it, right? As opposed to jealousy is more like, ooh, I want that. So how can we come from a place of wholeness, knowing that what we desire, we may notice it as the jealousy, but realize it's really a desire within us to express more fully. But not to be envious, saying like, I want this and I don't want you to have it. That vibration is like, it's like putting up walls around ourselves in that which we desire. It blocks that flow. So how can we be open to acknowledge and appreciate and recognize the good and the flow that we all are experiencing in our life and for each other, and to notice it in others as a way to appreciate and to raise our vibration? Which is one of the things we get to do by those of you who have chosen to participate in the prosperity class this month after service. We get to be that witness for each other and hold that space. So I invite you to begin to notice what you are noticing. What frequency are you vibrating at? Is it one of lack and limitation? And to be more clear, this can show up as excuses, complaints, judgments. Or are you consciously vibing at the frequency of abundance and wholeness and wealth, which looks like possibility and excitement and aliveness and generosity and flow, right? It's that something's coming energy that Margot sang of this morning, right? Something's coming. There's an aliveness, there's an excitement. I don't quite know what it is yet, but I feel it. There's something emerging. Imagine living from that place in times of, perhaps the experience of lack or not enoughness, instead of to come from, ooh, I'm not sure, this doesn't quite seem to vibe with what I desire, but something's coming. And how can we remain hopeful and expectant and excited and keep our energy up to the aliveness of what is seeking to be known now, what is seeking to be expressed through us? And that's the good news. We are always at choice. In each and every moment, we can choose again. We can notice what we are noticing and then choose to raise our vibration to that which we desire and make appreciation a habit. So one way, a very practical way, is a gratitude journal. Every night before bed, taking a moment, writing down at least 7 things that you're grateful for. And this practice alone will shift us into that mindset of abundance instead of falling asleep from the scarcity, of, this or that, the other, or the worries or the doubts, that when you start to relax, that part of the brain says, hey, la, 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 la. You have to be more conscious to say, and to focus on what is good and what you desire. Same thing, you fall asleep, you wake up. The first thing, start your day with an affirmation before you even get out of bed, whether out loud or just in your own mind and heart. Like, I'm so grateful to be alive. Take a moment of appreciation, notice your soft sheets, your cozy pillow. Perhaps there's a being in the bed next to you that you can turn to, whether it be a fur creature or a human creature or who knows what. Notice it, love it, appreciate it. No judgment. Take that moment before you even put your feet on the ground to be grateful, to start your day from this place of appreciation. Because the truth is, the very life force of the universe resides within all of us, and we reside within it, and it is infinite. And the universe is always providing all that we need to sustain us, our bodies, our health, our relationships, our finances, and whatever lack, limitation, scarcity we may perceive or be witnessing in our lives or our community or the world today is an experience that can be shifted. And in this moment, we can focus on, turn towards the abundant good that is already surrounding us. And from that mindset of abundance, ask, okay, what is seeking to be known here? Right? Sometimes, when life gets to be feeling in resistance instead of in flow, it's simply an invitation to ask, what is seeking to be known here? Is it just something within me that I need to shift my perspective to see something new? Or is there something totally different that is wanting to be known? Either way, as we open our hearts and minds and tune towards the higher vibration of what we desire, as far as the qualities, I'm not talking about what we desire like specifically in things, but like as we tune towards the desire of peace and wholeness and abundance, joy, love, then we can begin to see, to know, and to be guided towards that which is seeking to be known through us. That perhaps this temporary experience of lack is calling us to shift in some way, to know, to do, to be different in some way. As we talked about a few months ago, curiosity as a core value. This is how we can invite in curiosity to move, to keep expanding and growing and move beyond any form of lack or limitation, and to see and experience the both and. The truth despite the circumstances, the energy, like what's resonating, what's feeling most alive in your life. Put your energy towards that and see. Because what we are noticing in this world in a very big kind of collective way is that many old ways of being no longer work. And, we had this reset during COVID, and how quickly did we as a society just go right back to those old ways of being, those old structures, when Mother Earth was trying to tell us there's something new. You got to shift. There's something new wanting to be born. So we in this room are the ones to listen, to open our hearts. You're showing up this day because something within you drew you here to hear this conversation right now, to be a part of this evolution of consciousness. To allow the truth of abundance to flow through you and to be experienced in a brand new way. Something's coming. I don't exactly know what, but something's coming. Do you feel it? Just keep putting your energy, your attention, your vibration on that. what is emerging. And as we all know, as something's coming, as something is new is being birthed, anything unlike it shows up in a very big and loud way. And we're seeing that as the wars that are erupting around the world because that way of being no longer works. Power over, force over, war, killing. That doesn't work. So how can we know wholeness? How can we honor Mother Earth and the humanity of each other, despite race, religion, culture, all these things that seem to separate us? How can we right now choose not to get caught up in the details and the distraction, but to raise our vibration and to ask, who am I here to be? And what is mine to do in order to create this world that works for all? And something's coming to me. Somebody asked this beautiful question. A couple people have asked a question similar to this, right? So we say we're part of Centers for Spiritual Living, and our greater organization, the mission, the vision, rather, is a world that works for everyone. So does that mean a world that works for Hamas? Does that mean a world, what does a world that works for everyone mean? Does that mean a world that works for neo-Nazis, white supremacists? My take on this, as we create a world that works for everyone, that won't exist. It can't exist in a world that works for everyone. So we're not saying like, yes, a world that works for everyone, like you go and be how the hatred you want to be. It's more like, I hope I'm articulating this enough, but it's like as we create the vibration of a world that works for everyone, those old structures can't exist within that. So we're not saying love, all as what we are seeing, how it's being expressed right now. We are calling for something that we've never seen before in humanity, where that separation won't even exist. Because a world that works for everyone, there is no dominance or power over. And that's the place we're at right now. To vision for that, to hope for that, and to keep moving forward with that place of hopeful expectancy, and to create that within our own lives and our own vibration. It's so easy to turn and say, how can this happen? And look at these big things like war in the world. And yet, how many of us are still experiencing conflict and little mini wars in our own homes, within our own selves? We have to start right here. So, deep breath. This week, the opportunity is to practice recognizing the good and the bounty all around us, to lean into the awareness of wholeness, of love, of beauty, of truth, of abundance, despite any experiences of lack or scarcity that may creep in. And even when there is evidence right before us that says there's not enough, we get to stand in the knowingness that we live in an infinite universe. Shift our energy to that of appreciation and flow, and then stand back and let the universe do its thing through us. And then notice how the world begins to transform around us through this new perspective. So are you ready to magnetize, to multiply the love, the peace, the joy, the good in your life, in all areas of your life? Yes? All right, so let's start practicing gratitude. All right, let's do it. Thank you. We're going to turn to prayer. You know, that clap, that energy, I just want to acknowledge, like sometimes it could be like, it's appreciation, right? You want to move energy because you experience something. And sometimes I could think like, I don't need the applause. Like, I'm just going to go into prayer. I don't need a moment of applause. But what just occurred in that moment, I realized it was for you to experience appreciation for what shifted within you. So anyway, that was my aha. Appreciate. All right. So from that vibration, we open up to recognize the love, the wholeness, the abundance of the universe. Recognizing this one life that is moving in, as, and through all life. As peace, as joy, as harmony, as flow, as creativity. How good it is to recognize the abundance of the universe that lives not only out there in the vastness of the skies, but right here within each of us, within this magnificent body temple, and within the vastness of our own spirit and soul. So what I know is that every desire that has been placed on our heart is fully sourced, or yet we wouldn't even know it. That desire within each of our hearts for ourselves, the desire, the vision for this community is fully sourced. There's an aliveness to it. And that aliveness is spirit itself resonating, vibrating with all that we are here to be and to do. So I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here now. So grateful to experience the aliveness of flow, of abundance, of money, of love, of friendships, of creativity and ideas. So grateful to recognize the beauty all around, to appreciate, to honor the success and the joy and the prosperity of each and every beloved being that at one time or another, or will be called to say that Ahava is their spiritual home. Anyone who has tuned in online or walked through these doors or will in this infinite now moment is feeling the resonance of this vibration, of this prayer right here, right now, of wholeness, of abundance. And together we prosper. Together we rise to the occasion and open our hearts and minds to give and receive, to give and receive. Being the good stewards of the resources that we have in our own lives and in this world, in this beloved planet. So breathing in and allowing this energy of appreciation to move throughout our being. So grateful for the fulfillment of this prayer. As I release it now into the action of the law that always says, yes, 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 my beloved, it is done. And it is so. And so it is.